Hi and a very good day to everyone. My name is FARAH QISTINA, and today my presentation is going to be the impact of the hedonic value, utilitarian value, and the trust towards the online shopping behavior of dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur. The overview of this presentation will cover the research introduction, the literature review, and followed by the research methodology, and then the data analysis, the research finding, as well as the conclusion and recommendation. Moving on to the first discussion, which is the introduction of the study, it is proven that the dietary supplements consumption is increasing every year. This is because more people has gotten more awareness on how important to maintain a good health. That is why the aim of this research is to study the impact of hedonic value, utilitarian value, and the trust towards the online shopping behavior relating to the dietary supplements that contains ingredients such as vitamins, minerals, and others. To explain briefly, the hedonic is depicting the emotional dimension such as the people's self-satisfaction and desire. Meanwhile, the utilitarian represent a task related to a consumer such as their living necessities like what they need in their daily life. And trust towards the online shopping behavior is portraying the trust that consumers have on purchasing their dietary supplements through the online store. Coming to the problem statement, in terms of hedonic aspect, the health regulation of dietary supplements was not fairly implemented yet. So this is where people tend to believe natural nutrients is the sole way to maintain a good energy level or for a beauty purpose. And then the issue of the utilitarian aspect is where the consumer does depends on the dietary supplements, but they have a very poor ingredient knowledge to fulfill their nutrient needs. And lastly, the major issue that involves trust is where the consumers tend to doubt to purchase through the online store due to they have a lesser confidence on the dietary supplements authentication and originality. And the research objective is basically to study the impact of hedonic value, utilitarian value, and the trust towards the online shopping behavior of dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur. And this is where it narrows to identify the impact of hedonic value towards the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur, and to identify the impact of utilitarian value towards the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur, and lastly to identify the trust towards the online shopping behavior of dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur. And the research question of this study consists of: does hedonic value impact the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur? And second is, does utilitarian value impact the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur? And last but not least, does the trust towards the online shopping behavior impact the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur? This literature review will cover the hedonic value, utilitarian value, as well as the trust towards the online shopping behavior. So, the first one, as for the hedonic value, the study made by Hanazi and Razia in 2013 has stated that hedonic value can be identified and can be measured when consumers find joy towards the particular subject. And this can be supported by another researchers, which has stated that hedonic value can be seen through the consumer shopping excitement, according by Muhammad Zaki et al. As for the utilitarian value, the consumers were driven to take their dietary supplements due to their health needs, according by Haq ATM et al. And the incumbent of optimum health is another solid reason why the consumers are taking their dietary supplements, according to Ling, Hu, Ng, and Yu. And lastly, the trust towards the online shopping behavior is built and come from the wonderful reviews by other consumers, according to Lim et al. And the research methodology is covering the research of quantitative data, and the data is a primary. The instrumentation used is a self-administered survey questionnaire, and the unit of analysis is we're looking at the individual. The sample size is 200 respondents, and we managed to collect 184 respondents, and the analysis technical is using SPSS. And the research framework of this study is that the hedonic value, utilitarian value, and the trust towards the online shopping behavior is affecting the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur. And this is where hedonic value, utilitarian value, and the trust towards the online shopping behavior is the independent variable, meanwhile the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur is the dependent variable. Coming to the research hypothesis, the first hypothesis is that the hedonic value has a significant effect towards the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur. And the second hypothesis is the utilitarian value has a significant effect towards the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur. And last but not least, the third hypothesis is the trust towards the online shopping behavior has a significant effect towards the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur. Coming to the data analysis, the demographic analysis is what is depicted in this slide. As we can see from the reliability test, it is using the Cronbach's alpha, the Cronbach's alpha of hedonic value and utilitarian value, as well as the online shopping behavior, is recording the value of more than 0.5, which is reliable. And then coming to the normality test, it is observed that all the normality test is left skewed, hence it is not normally distributed. And moving on to the research findings and hypothesis testing, by using the Pearson correlation coefficient, the relationship of hedonic value, utilitarian value and the trust towards the online shopping behavior with the dependent variable, which is the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur, is representing the positive correlation among the variables. Hence, it is concluded that relationship among the variables are significant. Another analysis that is constructed, which is the multiple linear regression, which indicated that 58.9% of variance in satisfaction is explained by the three independent variables in the study, and the ANUSUIYA is recording a significant value of less than 0.05, which meaning that the model has significant impact on dependent variable of dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur. And coming to the analysis of the hypothesis, since all the significant value of the three variables is lesser than 0.05, all the hypothesis is accepted. As for the conclusion, the dependent variable, which is the dietary supplements among female consumers, is selected and relates to its independent variable, which is the hedonic value, utilitarian value, and the trust towards the online shopping behavior. And the data collection method is by surveying, and its data gathered has concluded that the sample size is not normally distributed. This is because the results were indicating in left skewness. However, based on the reliability test, the variables is reliable. And last but not least, hypothesis testing reveals that the hedonic value, utilitarian value, and the trust towards the online shopping behavior has the positive relationship with the dietary supplements among females in Kuala Lumpur. As for the recommendation, it is recommended for future research to consider a wider demographic in terms of geographical that is not often included in research, such as in Sabah and Sarawak, and then covering the understanding of a male perception towards the dietary supplements. And it is also recommended for future research that they could identify different predictors of hedonic and utilitarian that is not included in the study to have a better picture on consumption of dietary supplements as a whole. And last but not least, it is suggested that to explain the sample size, which could help in having more accurate result of this research. Thank you so much for listening, and we have come to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.